Welcome to the Happy Hormones Coach podcast, your go-to source for all things women's health. I'm here to guide you through the ups and downs of hormonal changes, helping you understand how these shifts impact every aspect of your life. So whether you're in the perimenopause phase or really any other phase of life, looking to improve your overall well-being, or just seeking practical tips on stress management, nutrition, and fitness, then this podcast is for you. Join me as we explore holistic and functional approaches to health, share expert insights from guests, and empower you to feel your best at every stage of life. Before we dive into today's episode, I want to remind you that the information shared in this podcast is for educational purposes only and is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any medical condition. Always consult with your healthcare provider before making any changes to your health regimen. Welcome back to the Happy Hormones Coach podcast. I'm your host, Jennifer Gamayo-Self, and today we're diving into a heavy topic, literally and figuratively, emotional health. So I'm not just talking about physical weight you carry, but the emotional burdens that can weigh you down mentally, emotionally, physically, and even spiritually. This isn't something that you'll hear about in a typical weight loss conversation usually that's out there or in a lot of these programs, but emotional weight goes beyond calories, exercise, or even hormones. It's about the stories that we carry, the traumas we have not processed, and the emotional clutter that keeps us stuck. So by the end of the episode, I hope you'll not only understand what emotional weight is, but also how to recognize it in your own life and begin the process of releasing it. This episode is for anyone who feels like they're doing all the quote-unquote right things, but still not seeing results, or anyone who knows they're carrying more than just physical weight. So let's start with the basics. What do I mean by emotional weight? Well, emotional weight refers to the emotional burdens, unresolved feelings, and unprocessed traumas that manifest in your body as physical symptoms or changes, including actual weight gain or difficulty losing weight. And it's a combination of stress, fear, guilt, shame, and even perfectionism. I am guilty of that part. And so the mind-body connection. Research shows that emotions are stored in the body, and Dr. Bessel van der Kolk, author of The Body Keeps the Score, which you have heard me talk about several times because I got that book years and years ago, and I still have it out beside me because it's just absolutely wonderful. But it highlights how trauma and emotional pain can physically manifest as tension, chronic pain, or weight retention. And also, I talk about weight gain, but it can actually even weight loss, to where you can't gain weight. And it has an effect on that as well. And so even cortisol, which is the stress hormone, it plays a huge role. And chronic stress leads to elevated cortisol levels, which trigger the body to store fat, particularly in the midsection or the abdominal area. And that's sourced from Epple et al. 2000. And so what are the signs that you're carrying emotional weight? Well, emotional eating or cravings, fatigue, even after you've got what you felt was like good rest, you took a nap, anything like that. You could still feel like wake up feeling tired, even if you slept a lot, basically, or took a nap. And persistent bloating or inflammation, feeling just stuck despite making physical health efforts. And if you've ever felt like your body is betraying you, it might be your emotions trying to get your attention. Again, your body speaks to you. And it's up to us, it's up to you to listen to your body and what it's actually saying, to take the time to actually pay attention to it, because it does talk. And so how does emotional weight actually work? How does something intangible, like emotions, translate into something physical? Well, let's talk about the stress-weight connection. So chronic stress activates the HPA axis, leading to elevated cortisol levels. And cortisol prompts your body to store fat as a survival mechanism. So historically, people used to maybe need this in times of famine, but in today's world, it's triggered by emotional stress. So research, a 2007 study found that women with higher cortisol levels had a greater waist to hip ratio, even when their calorie intake was the same as lower stress participants. So that's truly interesting. And unprocessed trauma. So trauma can create quote unquote body armor, where the body physically holds onto weight as a protective mechanism. And Dr. Peter Levine's work on somatic experiencing shows that trauma lives in the nervous system and can block the body's natural ability to regulate weight. It's all very fascinating when you actually stop to think about it. And like on the last episode, listen to your body. It's very fascinating stuff. And so emotional eating and weight retention. So emotional weight often comes with emotional eating. Generally, that's what happens. Now, there are some that don't even have an appetite at all, but they just physically feel nauseous or their stomach hurts, so they just won't eat. So there are some that can go on either of the spectrum. But generally, we hear of that with emotional eating. And dopamine spikes from comfort foods, it provides temporary relief, creating a cycle of dependency. And generally, it's really kind of hard, and I was one of those in that category of emotional eating for most of my life, actually. And it is hard to get out and break out of that cycle, but it can be done. There is hope. And so the gut-brain axis, your gut health is deeply connected to your emotional state. And stress and emotional pain disrupt gut bacteria, leading to bloating, inflammation, slowed metabolism, and the like. So your body isn't betraying you, it's actually protecting you, but that doesn't mean it can't change. And that's where habits come in and our thoughts also. So now that we understand what emotional weight is and how it works, let's talk about why it matters and who this applies to. So it affects your whole health. Physically, you'll notice with like inflammation, chronic inflammation, hormonal imbalances, digestive issues, so much more. The list goes on. Emotional, you'll feel anxiety, depression, or just like I said, feelings of being stuck. And relational, emotional weight often spills into relationships, leading to conflicts or disconnection. So who needs to hear this? Who is this for? If you're a chronic dieter, if you tried every diet and workout plan but still feel stuck, this is for you. If you're an overachiever, if you constantly push yourself but you never feel good enough, definitely for you. And if you're just an overwhelmed caregiver, whatever that looks like, or even a people pleaser, if you put everyone else's needs before your own and feel burnt out, this is for you. So why does it matter? Well, carrying emotional weight isn't just about physical health, but think about it. It's about freedom. When you release emotional weight, you create space for joy, creativity, and vitality. You are thriving, my friend, and not just surviving. So letting go of emotional weight is about reclaiming your life, not just your waistline or what the scale says. So how do you actually start lifting the emotional weight? Well, let's break this down into actionable steps. So I like to say, name it to tame it. That's right. Journaling, write about what's been weighing you down, emotions, experiences, relationships, anything. And ask yourself, okay, what am I holding on to and why? And number 2, feel it to heal it. Love these sayings. You really do need to feel it. Suppressing emotions keeps them stuck. So allow yourself to feel without judgment and give yourself grace. Somatic practices like the different exercises or breath work can help release stored emotions. And number 3, rewrite the story. That is right, my friend. Reframe. Identify any limiting beliefs like, I'm not good enough or I will always be this way. Replace them with empowering truths. I'm doing my best. My worth is not tied to my weight. Those are all empowering truths. So try reframing that and just keep saying it. Number 4, step 4, create emotional resilience. Set boundaries. I've talked about this before in previous episodes. Protect your energy by saying no to things that drain you.
and build self-care rituals like meditation, prayer, nature walks, or any hobbies that actually make you feel joyful. Anything. And step 5, seek support. So now, depending on how deep this needs to go, you can work with a coach, more on like a kind of service level habits kind of emotion thing. But I would suggest that if it does go deeper, I would suggest always work with a therapist or a professional who is specialized in this, because they're going to really, really help you. You can even go to like support groups to process deeper traumas. But definitely I would recommend for deeper support therapist or support group for those. And community also. It creates accountability and encouragement. You're not alone. And so the process of releasing emotional weight is a journey. It is not a quick fix. It is worth it. So be patient with yourself. Emotional weight isn't just something that you carry. It's something you can release. Like, it's kind of like a balloon, right? You're carrying all these balloons, and you can put emotions, you can write emotions or whatever you're experiencing, whatever past things that you've had or what you're feeling, write them on a separate like balloon, and just pretend like you're just carrying those around, or even rocks, right? You're just carrying this backpack full of rocks with all these things around, but you can let them go slowly, but you can let them go. And it's just going to be so much more lighter for you and feeling more freedom, right? Just the emotional freedom. And so by understanding the connection between your mind and body, you can start the journey towards health, joy, and just that lightness, that freedom. And I hope that this episode resonated with you. I would love for you to share it with a friend or leave a review, because remember, you're not alone in this journey, and your body is capable of absolutely amazing things when you listen to it. So until next time, take care of yourself, and remember, you're carrying more strength than you realize. I will see you on the next episode.
Thank you for tuning in to the Happy Hormones Coach podcast. I hope you found today's episode insightful and empowering. Remember, taking charge of your health is a journey, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. If you enjoyed this episode or any of the other episodes, please be sure to share, subscribe, rate, and leave a review. It does help me to reach more women like you who are striving for optimal health and happiness. And don't forget to follow me on social media for daily tips and inspiration. Until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and keep thriving.